Do anything it's supposed to do. I can't get it to do. How do you shrink your screen?
A little square box, I think.
A little square box.
And this one is up in the corner.
No, I mean like my overall screen. It won't. My overall screen like enlarged. Like you should be able to just pinch it. Such luck. Okay, let me go live on here so I can read comment. Are we live?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, welcome to Fabric Chicks Live on Monday. Hang on a second. My computer won't. The button won't push. It's always something every day. Every day is a fun little experiment to surviving life. Okay, let me log this in so I can read your comments. Hang on. Hang on. We have technical difficulties here. Okay, let me see. Just a second, girls. Oh my gosh, now it's asking for a authentication password. Okay. Here, I'm just going to go right here to Facebook because that's the only way I can get you guys. Okay, welcome everybody. Okay, that's like point. Computers are pointless. Okay, so hi June, hi Clark, hi Joanne and Anita and Susan, Highland ABC and Mark and Kathleen and Sue and Tina. Tina, we have not been snowed in at all. Literally, I was upset that the snow removal guy showed up yesterday because I could literally see the asphalt parking lot. It was like a dusting. And it's a pretty penny when he shows up. And he's not supposed to show up unless there's 3 or more inches covering. But he showed up. But really hardly any snow. But I know Carson City's been getting a lot of snow. We're just kind of in a valley between a bunch of mountains, so we don't get too much. Hey, Stephanie and Tina and Lynn and everybody. Welcome, 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 everybody. I'm super excited because after this, we go right into our Scrappy Mystery Part 2. So I'm super excited about that. But I have seen lately a bunch of bindings where the stitch is kind of at a diagonal. And if you do your binding stitch at a diagonal, you're totally going to be able to see it. So I'm going to show you how to do a ladder stitch today. It's super simple, but I'm also going to show you some of my favorite things that I use when I'm putting on bindings or when I'm doing invisible applique. So I love needle turn applique that you can't see, except for that Eleanor Peace Bailey once said that if you're going to go to all that time and effort, you might as well see it. So I'm going to show you real quick what an invisible applique looks like, and then I'm going to show you Eleanor's applique. And Eleanor does like a running stitch, which most people don't do. So this here, this quilt behind you, this is all needle turned applique. So you can see here that well, you can't really see it because my stitches, 20 years ago were like reweaving the fabric. The stitches are so tiny. So you can see here, I'm trying to pull it apart so you can see the thread, but you really can't. So invisible applique needle turn, you really are not going to see the stitches. Here, let's see another one over here. This one is purple, and I used thread that matched it, so you really can't see it. So if you were going to do needle turn, or even if you were going to do like a zigzag, but you don't want your threads to be distracting, 80 weight or 100 weight are the best weight threads to use. So you can see here, you really can't see my threads at all. That was back when I actually was young and had young eyes and could see. And then I'm going to show you over here. This is Eleanor's version of, she did the same process. She did needle turn, but instead of doing an invisible stitch, you can see here where she did a green stitch that kind of blends in, but it's like an extra quilting stitch right there. You can see it. That is her needle turn stitch. And then I'm going to show you where it's a little bit more noticeable. Right here, she did a variegated thread because the fabrics were changing so frequently. So you can see it's not invisible, and it changes like up here. You can see it the thread just changed with the fabric. So in her opinion, if you were going to go to the effort of stitching, you should see your stitches. So she did basically a running stitch or kind of like a quilting stitch, but as she needle turned it. Hey, Greta, how are you? Okay, so here is the applique. That it's Eleanor would call it a ladder stitch, but it's so that it's invisible. And I actually took some binding out here so that I could show you how to do it. So I've got here 100 weight thread. 100 weight is the finest thread that you can use. And I know a lot of people are going to say, well, is it polyester? Is it cotton? And I'm going to just tell you, it is polyester. I don't really care whether it's polyester or cotton for this. Some people will only use silk because it's fine. My quilts are not going into the Smithsonian. So as long as my thread does what I want it to do, and I have repaired a lot of bindings for customers because they can't, because the bindings do wear out faster than the rest of the quilt. So I'm just going to cut this off here, and I'm going to run it through my Thread Magic, which I just had 5 seconds ago. So I have this, it's called Thread Heaven. It's kind of like what we used to use in the olden days, the beeswax to condition your thread. And I'm just going to hold it right here. And then I just push it down as hard as I can. Sometimes I'll stick my nail in there, and then I just run it through. And then that's going to help it to not tangle and not fray. And then I'm going to find a needle. I've got some trusty old Peacemaker's needles here. I know you're pretty impressed I can find a needle, huh? This is a nice one because it kind of has a bigger eye. It's an embroidery needle. I would probably use a smaller needle in the olden days when I had young eyes. Now I just want a needle that I can keep a hold of. Oh, wait, did you guys see that knot? Let me do this again because I know you guys always say you can't do it or whatnot. This is what they call the quilter's knot. And let me cut that off. It's going to tie a perfect knot every time. So I'm going to come down here. I only want one strand of thread. And I'm going to put it right here on my finger. I'm going to wrap it around 3 or 4 times. I'm going to pinch it. And then I'm going to pull it while I'm holding it tight. And then I have a perfect knot there. Okay. So I'm on my wrong side of my fabric because I've already sewed my binding down. If you need a demo on binding, let me know. And then I'm going to just grab some clips here. I love the clips. Nobody ever said this, but I find that if I use the flat side up and the round side down, it pinches more evenly. So sometimes I used to just put it on this way because I didn't know there was a difference. But I find it lays better as I'm stitching it if I have the flat side facing up. So I'm just going to put these right wherever I'm binding. And some people like to put them on their whole quilt. I don't. I like to kind of get it laid out as I'm going. And those are the threads I just cut just because. But as you can see here, this is what I've already finished. And you really cannot see the threads. And basically I'm just doing a quick, what I call a ladder stitch. So I'm going to come in from the back side. I'm going to start back past where I snipped the threads. I was going to leave it open last night and then I forgot and just finished it up and then had to rip it out. Okay. So I'm going to tuck those old threads that I snipped under so they don't get in my way. So where I come out, right here is my thread. And I'm going to go directly across and then up at an angle and then pull it tight, then directly across, get a little bit of fabric and then up at an angle. So my thread is actually moving forward underneath. So when I pull it tight, and I'll leave a few loose so you guys can kind of see why they call it a ladder stitch. And I'm not sure if that's the right term. That's just what I was told it was. So when you pull it, it just closes that up, except for the old threads I snipped are going to bug me. So I'm just going to keep going because you really don't want to see the threads when you're doing the binding. Especially if you're taking the time to do it by hand. Just straight across and then you move along at an angle underneath. Okay, let me find my phone so I can see if you guys have any questions. So that is, gosh, the old threads are going to drive me crazy. I should have just gotten a soldier quilt or something and demoed on that. So as you can see, when you're done,
Kathleen wants to know how long piece of thread to you
I use probably
advise using for hand binding.
I use like 18 inches or even sometimes a little bit longer because I'm lazy and I don't want to have to keep getting threads. So, 18 inches to probably 18 to 22 inches. Because once you run it through the thread conditioner, it's not going to fray and it's not going to knot typically. I mean, there's always a chance of that. And then I have my favorite thimble. This is a Roxanne's thimble. It's sterling silver. I did put a hole through it back in the day when I used to hand quilt and they replaced it and sent me a new one. So they're super pricey. They're like $250 or something, but they replaced it when I wore it out. So the hardest thing is you have to keep track of it because if you lose it, you're going to cry. But it's open so that if you do have nails, it's not claustrophobic. And it really just becomes a part of, like, sometimes you forget you're wearing it and like it's been on all day.
Anita says she loves your thimble.
Thank you.
She must have one, please.
I don't sell them because everybody's finger is going to be different. You almost have to go to a show and try them on. The only other thing I can think of is I know, and I don't know her name right off the top of my hand, but I could find it out. I've interviewed her several times. There's a gal that does the Reno shows. She lives up in Oregon. And do you guys remember we interviewed her and she took us on a tour of her studio of how she makes her thimbles, and she can do special designs like Star Wars or whatever. She'll be at the Reno show, I'm pretty sure, but I can find her name for you. That might be the best way because I know she'll send you like 3 thimbles for you to try and see which one you like the best. And then you send it back to her and then she makes you a thimble for your size.
Susan Adams, I would like that new wax. What is it called?
The thread magic.
How much?
Okay, I'm going to show you in just a minute. So this is going to be something new, and I can't decide if I like the back better than the front, but I'm going to show you guys this on Wednesday. This is a new line of fabric that just came in. So this is a wide back. The backing's 108 inches wide. The backing is just beautiful on its own. And then this is the front. And I am really loving this quilting design because it kind of just looks like wind. But so that's gonna, hopefully I'll have kits available on Wednesday for that. It's hard to stay one step ahead of you girls. Okay, let me.
Carolyn said it was a good clip tip.
Perfect. Anita, you're totally worth it. I know. Kathleen, what would we do if our nails had to like stick in without a hole for it? Okay, perfect. I've always used that stitch, but stitch toward me, not away. Any thoughts? I think stitch whichever way is comfortable for you. I always stitch to the left. I was stitching away from me because of the demo, but if I'm sitting in my lap, I stitch to the left. Because I'm right-handed, so I just stitch like this. Even if I'm appliquing, I would stitch like this as opposed to that. I think we stitched the same way just for the demo. It looked weird. You're welcome, June. I don't even remember what the clip tip was. Okay. All right. If I didn't answer your question, type it in again, okay? Because at this point, I don't even know what I have answered. Raylene is going to be at the Sacramento Quilt Crafts show at the end of March. Probably. She said she wasn't doing any more shows, but I tried to order some rulers and she's super busy. So I think she is doing shows. Okay. So welcome to watching us. If you are new to watching, I did not scroll the banner apparently because my computer is not working right. For some reason, I love technology. But today is February 4th. March 4th. Oh, we're in March. Okay. Well, yes. Judy, this is like your quilt. So if you guys have seen on Fabric Chick Stitch Along, and if you're not a member of Fabric Chick Stitch Along, you can join it. It is a private Facebook page, and that's where you guys can post what you're working on and where we post links when we're doing free Zooms or classes or whatnot. That's just kind of where we all chit chat and socialize. It's a Fabric Chicks community, Fabric Chick Stitch Along. This is exactly like your quilt. This is the original one. This is the original one that Eleanor Peace Bailey made. And then the one that we kitted because it was so hard getting Eleanor to use fabrics so that we could kit things. So she made one just willy-nilly out of what she loved. And then we made one years ago, probably 8 years ago, with fabric, all K fabrics, batiks, and different things. So yes, it's exactly what your quilt is, Judy. And we do have a pattern for this. It is $40. Here is the Thread Magic. It's not thread. It is Thread Magic, but not Thread Magic like what we steam. This is the Thread Magic conditioner. So S130 is $12. And I like this one better than mine because it has the slits. So you put your thread into it and then you close the lid and pull it through, where mine doesn't have the slits. And then a lot of people use this one and put it on the side of their sewing machine so all their thread runs through it. It eliminates, let's see what it says. Strengthens threads, eliminates static, prevents tangling and fraying, safe for all threads and fabrics, safe for all machines, does not melt or freeze, leaves no residue. So it's just a conditioner for your thread. So if you want this on the side of your machine, it's sticky. You just stick it to the side of your machine. S131 is $9. I haven't tried it. Maybe that's my issue. Why I can't get my new machine to like the big thick threads. And then if you don't have a thimble and you want, these just came in. So most of you who ordered these already, you have them in your baskets or you already have them at home. But these are sticky thimbles, so you can stick these on your finger and then push your needle through so your needle doesn't go through your finger. If you've sewn for any length of time, you know how much it hurts when the needle goes through your finger. If you need the little clippies, here's a pack for $7. And really, some people love to have a billion of these. They do break over time. Some people like to bind their entire quilt at once. I would just like to do it as I go. And then here's a pack. So this smaller pack is S133 for $7. Then here's a pack for $18, S134. And this has 3 different sizes. So you've got 10 of the small, 10 of the, well, these look like the same size. One's just kind of like a needle, it like is smaller at the nose. And then 6 of the large. Let's see. It's in a different language, so I'm not sure what it says. Great holding capacity for mini crafts. That's as good as it gets. 4 different languages. Okay, so that's that. You guys bought needles a couple weeks ago, so I didn't show needles. I always like to show you whatever I'm demoing so that you're not on a hunt trying to find what it is. If you need the Invisifill thread, this is 100 weight. So you can put it on your bobbin and you won't have to fill your bobbin as frequently, but it is real dense. So you only want to wind your bobbin about 70%. If you wind your bobbin too full, it'll be too heavy and it will make it so it doesn't make the full circle in time. So here is black, gray, nude, wine, light khaki, and teal, S115. And I suggest getting these small packs because that gives you a variety to play with. And I don't necessarily match my colors perfectly. A lot of times I'll just use a taupe or a gray. S115 is $29, and that's for 6 spools. S115. S118. So if you want an invisible stitch, these are perfect for English paper piecing, stippling, hand and machine applique, stitch in the ditch, top and bottom thread, and free motion quilting. S118 is the bright fun colors. The gray neutrally pack is S117. S117 for the gray neutrally pack. Looks like a little bit of lavenders. S119 has tans, black, well, might not be black, might be like a slate gray, very dark gray or navy maybe. And then S116 is kind of the pastel-y colors. S116. S120 is blues, pinks, tans, grays. That's a good variety actually. S120, S120. S122 is, they used to have names for these, must-have mediums. Well, that clarifies it. Must-have mediums. And then S121 is deepest delectable darks. Deepest delectable darks. Show bright colors again. I think this one and S118, I think is when I said the bright colors. S118. Okay, I'll put them all right here and then you can look at them. Oh my gosh, I had a crazy weekend along with Heidi's super fun spirally class. I quilted 8 quilts. 8 quilts this weekend. Judy, if you're still on, you can come anytime and pick up your ginormous king size quilt. It is ready. I just haven't called you yet. So those are the invisible threads. If you haven't used them and you just want to try one spool, you could let me know what color and I can order that so that you don't have to get a whole pack. But I do use it a lot. I use it even for quilting. Here, I'm going to take you on a little field trip real quick. I did use it for quilting this background. So it's great for texture if you don't want to see, if you don't want the thread to be distracting. And we just did a thread class. So this is 100 weight Invisifill for the background quilting of this. So this here is 12 weight, just to give you a comparison. This is a 12 weight and this is 100 weight. And then pull back and on the corduroy is 100 weight also. So you see how it just gives you texture, but you don't really see the thread. I mean, Roger is 1 inch away, but we're going to pull back slowly so you can see that it's just texture. So sometimes you really want your thread to talk and sing, but sometimes you just want to have texture. And that is something I learned with this pumpkin. I used to think that if I was going to go to all the work to sew something, that you should be able to see all my stitches. So when I did this pumpkin, we did a stencil and then we colored it in with wax crayons. We did some shading with wax crayons. And then we were supposed to go in and just add texture with a thread that would just disappear. And back in those days, I was young and dumb, and I said, oh no, if I'm going to take the time to stitch it, I want to see the stitching. So you can see here, this pumpkin is my life lesson that the teacher might know what she's talking about. See how the thread is distracting? I used a variegated thread, and I should have used just something that would blend away. So that is your lesson on thread today. And if you ever want anything demoed, just let me know and we'll get the demos. Here, I'm going to move these away. We do have a few auctions today. And we have to stop right at 5 because we've got the Scrappy Mystery Quilt today. If you want to, you could still, this is our second meeting of 5 meetings. So if you want to, we could totally get you caught up on the mystery quilt. It meets from 5 to 7 on Mondays for 5 Mondays. We've already done one. It's $49. It's Scrappy Mystery, so you can just pull stuff out of your stash. What I found really interesting was that because I haven't really pieced in years, I do more of the artsy stuff and, you know, order fabric, ship your guys' packages, all that good stuff. What I realized is that I have really lost my piecing skills, what little piecing skills I had. When Victor had us do half square triangles, it was like half of us in the class had no idea what he was talking about. So it's been really fun kind of going back to basics. So you still can join. We can get you the clues, the first clues from last week, and then you can spend 2 hours for the next 2 hours with us for the next 4 Mondays. Okay, so now we're gonna, if you're new to watching, we're gonna do a few auctions.
Susan Adams wants to know, what is the weight for thread painting again?
So Susan, if you're doing, if you really want your thread to show, you're gonna wanna do a heavier weight. 12 weight is the heaviest weight you can run through your machine. So 12 weight's the heaviest weight you can run through your machine. And that's what's going to stand out the most. That's the thickest. But there's a lot of, like, D-twist is a 20 weight. That's 2 threads. So it's a variegated thread that's wrapped around each other. 2 threads is not variegated. It's just 2 threads wrapped around each other. 30 weights, though, would be great on the poppy. You don't necessarily, if you don't have 12 weights, you can go ahead and use like a 30 weight rayon would be pretty on the poppies. But you want something that's going to contrast a little bit if you want to see it. If you just want to add texture, then just blend it with whatever color the poppy is. Oh, we do have a couple of, these are the last 2 on the bolt. So if you want these, I only have 1 of each of these, and they are 2 different ones. S128 is $13. S128 is $13. And we only have a 1 of those. S128 is $13. And then I have 1 of this one. So these are beautiful if you leave them together whole. And they're also great to cut apart and fussy cut, put them down a denim skirt would be super fun. I mean, there's so many things you could do with it. And then this is S129 for $14. So you get 1 whole panel and 2 partial panels. S129 is $14. S129 is $14. And then, so Anne, these would be good for your, all the thread painting you're doing. And then I have some thread fabrics here that are very limited. S124 is a batik, a beautiful batik. I only have 1 yard of it left. So we'll give it to whoever wants the biggest piece. So if somebody wants the 1 yard, it's theirs. But if nobody wants the 1 yard, it's $4 for a half yard, $2.50 for fat quarters. And that's a beautiful batik. And then this one's another fun batik. I only have 1 yard of this, I believe. S125 is $8 a yard, $4 for a half yard, $2.50 for fat quarters. And then this is not a batik. This is just a fun little stripe. S114 is $8 a yard, $4 a half yard, $2.50 a fat quarter. And then we have some really fun yellows. This is a fun dot, and we have probably 4 yards of this, but they're all in 1 yard cuts. So $8 a yard, and these are all name brand fabrics. This is from, let's see if I can open it up. Clearwater Fabrics by Karen Combs. Well, honestly, I've never heard of Clearwater Fabrics. But these are the Go With It fabrics, which I thought were super interesting. I've never seen them before. S127 is kind of like a spirally quilting design. And then here's kind of a Go With It zigzaggy design. So you have S127 is the fun swirly design. And then S126 is like zigzaggy, kind of like rickrack. Super fun. I know, poor Victory says, I love batiks. So sad, Victor, that you're still celebrating Lent. Well, I mean, that's a good thing. We should not ever say it's not. It's a good thing, but we're sorry you can't. Next year, we're going to have to find something much simpler, like giving up chocolate or giving up e-cigarettes would be a good one. No vaping, no doing drugs. I mean, those are all very good ones to give up. They'd be pretty easy for me because, you know, I don't do any of that stuff. But, okay, here are some great tone on tone, just a little bit of movement flannels. So, the last ones we got of hers were Marcus Brothers. So I'm guessing these are Marcus Brothers also. So if you're new to watching, a lot of Timeless Treasures. So we've got Timeless Treasures here. And it's a great purpley color. And there's several yards of it. So $8 a yard, $4 a half yard, $2.50 for fat quarters. A great flannel. It's kind of suede-y looking. And then a lighter purpley color. There's probably, I don't know, 4 yards or 5 or 6 yards of this one. S111 is $8 a yard, $4 a half yard, $2.50 for fat quarters. And we have auction items too. If anybody needs, I haven't finished last Wednesday's sale up yet in this room. And I know everybody, when they come in, they say, oh my gosh, it always looks like that room is so much bigger that you're in. Just so you know, this room is maybe 10 by 10. You think, Roger? Maybe.
Yeah, it's 10 by 12.
It's tiny. Just so you know, this room is tiny. Okay, so we do have a quiet book for kids. This one is super cute. If you haven't done one of these books yet, you really should. Just because you can get it done in like one evening. S112. And this is You Are My Sunshine. And it's got a cute little monkey, and he's got little legs. So the little legs are right here on the side. You just sew around them and then stick it up inside the book before you sew it. And You Are My Sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. I'll give you lots of hugs and kisses every day. So that's a really cute one for you to make. S112 is $12. S112 is $12. And then I'm going to put some auction item things up. So if you're new to watching, all you have to do is just comment in the comments, which I can't really see because my computer is not working. I know, Victor. We got to find something much different for you to give up next time. Although your bank account probably is really liking that you're not buying any fabric for 40 days. Okay, so this is an auction. So you guys are just going to put in whatever you want to pay for these items. This is flannel. It's like a buttery yellow color. And you've got, it's a great baby color. You've got 2 yards plus some that was cut, was already used. So the auction items frequently come, either we only have one of them left in the store or it comes from somewhere else. So this is a couple of yards of this great flannel. And then you've got a yard, probably a yard and a half of this pink flannel. And then some pink check flannel, some yellow polka dot flannel, some more check flannel, and then a bright yellow flannel. So it's just kind of a grab bag. S73 is $5. S73 is $5. S73 is $5. You know, someday somebody's gonna have to go through your sewing room, and you hope that somebody will find your fabric stash before your husbands and kids take it to the dumps. So that's what we're doing. We're giving all of this fabric a second opportunity. We do have, oh, here, let's do these. These are the ones you guys didn't bid on last week. Here are 3 1 yards of red. The polka dot feels more crafty. These two feel, well, this one is more like craft cotton. These two are quilting cottons. They're both, all 3 are 1 yard pieces. We're going to start this auction off at $5. Auction at S153 at $5. S153 at $5. And let's see, what do we have here? Oh, here's like some samples, some upholstery samples. So here's kind of a fun, very different textures. You can use these in doing fabric note cards. You can use these in tote bags if you're creating your own fabrics. You can use them in clothing. You can use them in all kinds of things. They're just random upholstery scraps, but you could totally use these in your art quilts just to give you fun textures. And I know somebody asked the other day how to get the paper off, and I honestly just take off what comes off easy, and then I just leave the rest in. You can throw it in the washer and wash it. I just don't even worry about it. I get off what I can and then don't worry about the rest. This one is, let's see, S151. I'm trying not to use the same numbers. Mondays always gets crazy because I try to use the leftover numbers. Okay, S151 is at $2. S151 is at $2. S73, let's see, I'm going to go see what, I'm going to close it up. Donna Baker, that is so true. So true. She says, I just hope my family will find my body in the sewing room. We all hope that we're found in the sewing room doing what we love. Okay. S153. Well, let me get 173. I'm going to close that up.
No, just 73.
Yeah, S73. Sorry. S73, I think there is, 112 was something else. Oh, 112 is the baby book. Okay, S73, I see it at $10. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think S73 is $10 to Linda ABC. Correct me if I'm wrong. Linda ABC, $10. That's a good deal. That's like 5 yards of fabric probably for $10. That's like $2 a yard. If you need a bargain, just come to Fabric Chicks. Okay, S73, we're done with 153. Okay, we're going to close it up. 153. I see $6, 153. 153, I see $7. 153, I see $8. Okay, 153 is at $8 for 3 yards of fabric. As mine is frozen. Here. Oh, I just lost my comments. Oh, it's just one of those days. Sometimes technology is not your friend. I'm just gonna say that today it is not my friend.
Okay.
I just totally lost I lost it all. Okay, let me see if I can find you guys. You guys are just vanished off the planet. Literally the whole feed just went kapoo. Notifications. Nope, I want fabric checks. Oh, it's giving me, oh my gosh, sometimes I just want to scream. Okay, I'm gonna go read Roger's comments because I can't even get it on my cell phone now. Okay, S153 is at $8. 151 is at $3. Okay, let's get those up. We're gonna close those up so we can do some more. $153 is at $7. 153 Donna Baker's at $7. No, Carolyn Gavernich is at $8. Carolyn Gavernich is at $8. We're gonna close that up, and Terracotta is at $3. Carolyn G is at $8. Terracotta is at $3. You're gonna like those terracotta. There's a lot of fun textures there. Okay, let's see what else we have. So much. And you guys, Gracie and I loaded the van this morning with a ton more stuff. Okay, let me get these out of here so I don't get them confused. You know, we got a system to our chaos here. Okay. I'm going to show you these 3 1-yard books because I've got some 3 1-yards picked out for you guys to bid on. So this is 3 1-yard quilts are basically a great way to get patterns because you're going to get 8 patterns for $16. So it should be $19, but I found one old book that was priced $16, so I don't want anybody getting mad that I overcharged them. So we put them all at $16. So it's a good price today. S148 is for all 8 of these patterns. I love that this one's kind of like an easy half square triangles. Now that we're all experts, thanks to Victor, we all know how to do half square triangles, so we could do these easy peasy. S148 is for that one. Or this one is S147. S147. So it's 8 different patterns. And you know that patterns now are like $10, $12, $14, $20. Patterns are kind of crazy. And we want to support the pattern makers because you know, they inspire us, but sometimes the patterns are getting to be very expensive. So this is a great way. And these quilts are quick and easy. Like literally you can get them done in a day or maybe a weekend for sure. So those are 3. And I'm going to show you, this is an auction. We're starting at $24. It's 3 1-yards. So if you want, and we added a little bit of extra here, so that you could use this as the binding, because in the books she does a funny different way of binding so you don't need as much fabric. So we put a little bit extra in here. So if you want that, we've got S145 is at $24. So that's $8 a yard for that fun pink collection. And then we have, these are like last ones in the shop. So I thought, I don't want anybody getting mad because they weren't that fast. So we thought we would do auction style so that you can all have an equal chance. S146 is a fun springy color. And this is one of my favorite prints here. It's kind of an ombre scroll. So you have leaves and things, fun things here. And then it changes. So it's a lot of movement in one fabric that reads as a solid but has a little bit of movement. So S146 will, and these will make any of these quilts. S146 is at $24 for the auction. And then I have one more. And this one you might not necessarily want to do a 1 yard quilt, but it was all the same themed. So you might want to, bless you. So this is Western saddles and hats and Indian feathers. It's got kind of an Indian cowboy feel. You've got some baskets here. The basket fabric is absolutely beautiful. S114, so those 3 yards of westerny fabric at $24. And while you guys are bidding on those, I'm going to see if I can't find you again on my device. Let's see, fabric chicks. I see why sometimes you guys get so frustrated with this. Oh, Devin's on. How sweet. You gotta love it when your kids have nothing better to do than to stalk you on Facebook. Quick and easy. Quick and easy, Charity. Everything we do here is quick and easy. Okay, some things aren't super quick, but nothing's hard that we do. Okay, we're going to close these up. Well, you can keep bidding on things if you want. Keep bidding on things. And I've got a few freebies here. I don't even know what's here at this point. What? This is free. Oh, I was just trying to clean up in here, and I know that you guys are tired of hearing that. But this is, if you want this, just say you want the freebie, and I will literally put your names in a drawing because it's cluttering up my world. Okay, this is just random stuff. So it's scraps. Here somebody took the time to cut this cute little border out, which would be really cute on something. This is part of my very first quilt, although it's not even my fabric. It came out of a bin here. So we have all kinds of, this is like stuff you make flags for, I think. A piece of flannel. And then this is like what you put on your ironing board, I think. It's that reflective stuff, maybe on a steering wheel cover, but it's free. Whoever wants to rehome this, it's free. Type in free, we'll put your name in a drawing. And then while you guys are doing that, I'm going to close up these auctions. So S148 is for the books, the 3 1-yard books. S148 is for the books. S147 is for this. Again, you're getting 8 patterns that are pretty quick and easy. 8 patterns that are pretty quick and easy. Oh gosh, I don't know why I do this to myself, saying, oh, just say you want it and we'll put your name in the drawing. Okay, Donna Baker, who wouldn't want a freebie? Charity, some people don't really want to clutter up their world. Okay, Linda, ABC. Okay, you guys keep bidding on things while I get you all in the freebies. Victor. Okay, Donna Baker, the numbers on the 3 1-yard books. Roger's going to show you again. Okay, I think I've got everybody who wants to be in the freebies. Do you have the Go Bold 3-yard quilt book? I would have to look, Terracotta. Here, I'm writing myself a note, and I'll answer that on Wednesday. Of course, you know we can always order anything. Go Bold. Sounds good. Go Bold 3 yards. Okay, Cindy Gygax, Cindy G, June Sterling, Betsy Nislonger. Okay, okay, anybody else that I didn't get into there? Charity. Okay. All right, put your name in if you want the freebie, and while you're doing that, I'm going to close these up. I have 144 is at $29. 144. Tina Tina Benedicto. Okay, 144 is at 144 is at $30. Okay, you guys read that, Sue a Cope. Sue, how are you feeling? Tina Benedicto. Okay, I won't mail them. I'll see if you're coming up anytime soon, Donna. If you change your mind, let me know. Okay. All right. I think I've got everybody in for the freebies. Okay. I'm going to pull a name. Hang on a second. Let me close up these auctions while you guys are figuring out who wants a freebie. Okay. S140. Let's see. S146 is at $27. Such a good deal. $9 a yard. 146 is Joanne for $27. If anybody else has it and I missed it, let me know. S144 is Linda ABC for $29. And then S145 for the pretty purple ones. Let's see if we've got any.
What'd you say 144 was?
$29.
I see 30 for Rhonda Kyler.
Oh, you do? Okay, Rhonda Kyler. Rhonda at 30.
Mm-hmm.
Rhonda Kyler. Okay. 145. Was anybody at 145? 114. 144. 148, 147. Okay, so this one I think is still available. S145 is for the fun, pretty purples. S145. You've got a batik here that has some lavendery pinks in it as your background. You've got a fun kind of stripey, but with some metallics in it. And then you've got a great little floral print. S145 is at $24. And I don't think we have any takers for that. Okay. All right. I'm going to pick the freebie. No news yet, but I got. Oh, no, Sue. Life is just crazy, you know? That way, I guess if you're going to the doctors, you know you're still alive. I guess we're grateful that we woke up another day. Okay, 145. Linda ABC for $24. Linda, you're going to love that one. I don't know why, but I really like that combo. Okay, freebie here. I'm going to pick a name. And I've got Sue a Cove. Okay, Sue, I'm going to pin that to there. For the freebie, we've got Sue. And I got to watch the time. My clock is running. My watch is running like 5 minutes and 3 days behind. It did not like leap year. Okay, we're going to do some freebies because I know a lot of times we never have time for the freebies. So we got 5 minutes. Hang on a second, girls and boys. Okay, let me find the freebie box. Okay, I have, and if you ever win something and you don't want it from Fabric Chicks, just say you don't want it. We don't want to clutter your world, but we also don't want, when people are cleaning out their stashes, we don't want to just get rid of things. So I've got a great little red work book here. It's a red work garden. It's somebody's already used these, but they're great patterns for flowers. My photo is totally. Oh my gosh, poor Linda ABC has COVID. Oh, so this is red work. It's got all kinds of things. If you like embroidery, you're gonna like these patterns. You can also do applique with them. And some slow stitching would be great in here. There's a lot of ideas of what you can do. Okay, so I'm just going to scroll on my computer and see who I've we've got Cindy Gygax. Cindy Gygax is the winner. Cindy Gygax. I don't know if she does handwork. I know she does amazing applique and thread painting. Okay, I've got another freebie. I've got a great scissors. I've got not scissors, zipper. I have Sue Mathis. And you know what I found on Saturday's Zoom is that we pretty much pronounce everybody's last names wrong, and you guys just roll with it. So I'm sorry if we pronounce your guys' names wrong. Okay, I've got Carolyn Gavernich for a blue zipper, and it's a long one. It is it might be metal. I think it's metal. So you're not gonna want the teeth are plastic though. I don't know. Don't ask me. I'm not the professional here. Okay, I've got another fun little olive green zipper, and I've got terracotta for a fun little green zipper, and we got 2 minutes. Okay, we've got a quilter's guide to creative ideas, color or fabric. So color contrast, color theory. You've got a lot of, it's a lot of reading. This is like not a book you can just flip through and be inspired. You got to read this book. Creative ideas for color and fabric. And I've got Kathleen Rader. So remember, if you ever get something you don't want, just let me know. Here is the cutest little Abby applique. It's like little onesies with little appliques on there. So if you know anybody little, this is perfect for that. And I've got Linda ABC. That's a good one for Linda. She's got lots of little babies in her life. Here is a autumn gathering pine needles block of the month, but it looks like just one pattern. So it looks like the pattern's going to make this version of that. And I've got Judy Spivey, Judy S, or Spiffy, if it's phonetically correct. I always thought it was Junior Spiffy. And then your daughter corrected me and said it's Judy Rose. Okay, here is the cutest Spring is in the Air pattern. And I've got Rhonda Kyler. Oh, I don't even think Lizzie Be Creative is around anymore. Rhonda Kyler. She was like famous when I first opened up. Rhonda Kyler.
You said you had to quit right at 5.
Yeah, it's fine. Okay, we gotta go. That's it. So join us this Wednesday at 4 o'clock for more fun like this, except for it's not as Wednesday's a different kind of crazy. But we have a wholesale 2 hours, 4 to 6 this Wednesday, every Wednesday. Have a good night and go get some sewing done. Go sew. Okay. You can end that. And then I have to start my